This was the band that I used to throw up in a picture while we were playing because I didn't give a shit. I'd be like, do behind the PA because I could get away with that. I mean, that's what we were doing. We were just like, who gave a shit?
Hey, everybody, I am the Kevin McLaughlin, and this is the Riffs and
Rhythms Podcast, and I'm Paul Robertson.
Paul, how are you, man?
I'm not quite sure, but one thing
No one else is either. It's okay.
So tonight we have a guest back on here with us here from last week. If you guys tuned in there, the episode with Mike Lubeck is he's back on the podcast with us here, refreshed and looking like he just got back from some trout fishing. But the main thing I want to start off the podcast talking to him about is car insurance. How's your car insurance?
What?
He knows.
Wow.
He knows.
He's just a straight up stalker, ain't he? Right? He really is. He's just a straight up stalker. All right. Okay. So there was a thing that came on my face. Save hundreds on your car insurance. And I pushed on it. And I was in the middle of filling out my information. I got a phone call from replacement bureaus. They wanted to know what I was spending. I was like, I put my prick hat on. Kevin, I did. You would be proud of me, bro. I mean, I put that thing right on. It was like jelly filled and it wiggled like this. And when I talked to this guy.
Was it a 10-gallon hat?
I was like, dude, I'm filling information out. How did you get my number? Oh, don't worry about that, sir. We don't share your information with anybody. I go, well, how the hell did you get my number? You know? So I was like, don't be
you're
rude.
in the midst of filling out the online form and they called you before you were finished?
Yes.
Well, I guess the submit button is a formality at this point.
No, there's a guy. It was a guy in the other room on the other line. He just picked up the phone. Like he called somebody.
There's a guy on my HOA. I got to keep my eye on this.
So that is actual. That's probably true. You know, you can pay for a click funnel. You can buy leads, or the top quality is access to the camera, and they'll watch you do it. And when they see you starting to fill it out, they'll call you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm pretty disappointed, man, because anybody that would call you in the middle of that, how could you show any respect or trust to? You know, right in the middle of this kind of conversation, you're like, you want me to give you money? Tell me how I'm going to trust you to do anything with my money.
It would be really ironic if somebody's phone rings right now and it's an insurance company.
That's okay. You know, it's okay.
Look, you've been ducking calls.
I deal with it. I do so many different things with these people. Sometimes I go, hi. You know, I'll do that kind of stuff. I go, yes, this is who you're speaking with. That my name is, you know, and I just want to mess with them and keep them on the line as long as I possibly can. Because if they're messing with me, they ain't calling somebody else. And I'll go, and this is true. I'm not using this as some kind of a, thing. I'll go, well, excuse me, I'm a disabled veteran. I can't hear that well right now. If you can you explain to me exactly what you're trying, what it is that you want me to do? And just let them go. You know. And then you go, I'm sorry. The microwave buzzer just went off. I have to go. Just. You know,
Have you ever told like you're making the sounds like you're in the middle of sex and you answer the phone?
I can't do that on this
I've
station.
done that before, you know, and I've also then freaked out.
You've answered the phone during sex, you beast.
Yes. Hi. Oh, hey.
I would never. I would never disrespect my.
Oh yes, I'm. This is a perfect time to talk about insurance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't think. I think.
I mean, like, hey, man, look.
I think my warranty is about to run out.
How can I disrespect my bitch when I'm in the middle of all this, man? Come on.
Or religious calls. Hi, would you like to talk about God? Oh God, yes.
God, Jesus.
I'm going to come down to the office and talk with you in person.
Or I've told them on the phone, like I'm talking casually, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, my dog's on fire, and then they don't know what to say. But anyway, so let's talk music, Mike, here. Now that I stalked your Facebook page about your insurance woes.
Wow, you did that.
Yeah.
You had to have done that, man. Yeah, I'm that kind of guy. So
Maybe that was me you were talking to earlier on insurance. Wow. Oh, now plot twist.
There's always somebody guy. There's always some with his hand in your pocket.
Wait, my hand's in your pocket? That'll be $20, please.
Speaking
Marge.
of trout
It's called,
fishing,
it's called Marge. It's like you need to be Marge.
All right, now this is serious entertainment, people. We we have to talk about something relevant.
Rein us in, Kevin. Be serious.
All right, what are we going to talk about?
So let's talk about, your music here, Mike, here, right? So you've got...
Mike.
You've talked a little bit about some of your solo stuff in the last episode there,
Yeah.
some of the gigs you play, right? And then you got iconic. Let's talk about iconic opera.
Yeah.
Right, because you talked the last episode, towards the end of the episode, where the style, progressive music, not prog from Czechoslovakia, rock.
I learned it's called
Did
Czechia
he say
now.
Czechoslovakian rock? What did he just say? I was told there would be no math.
Carlo and
on this
Rossi.
show.
They call it Czechia now.
Czechia, it's Czechian, yes. So, talk a little bit about some of the music there that you're performing in iconic opera.
Well, we just, as long as we try to do stuff that has a lot of like aromatic kind of progressions to it, and we try to, even with the solo stuff that I do, I'm not into G, C, and D, and A minor, and A minor, and just throwing some lyrics. Even when it comes to writing, just throwing lyrics over that kind of stuff. There's so many structures that go within a neck that's this big. All right, there's a neck that's this big, man, and then so when you're playing in just this realm right here, all right, you're kind of refined. Iconic opera, we try to challenge each guy in the band to express themselves the best they can be. All right, so it's not like, how good am I? I've got to be able to back you up. All right, I don't care how good the drummer think he is. I'm a great drummer. He's better than me. How good is the keyboard player? We gotta show each other that we're capable of playing what we do above and beyond. So we limit our practice time down to when we show up to practice, you better know your shit. All right? So there's none of this, oh, you do this, you take this, or whatever. We do all of that over the phone. All right? I'm going to take the second harmony. I'm going to take the third. We're going to give this guy this solo right here. We've been doing this stuff for so long is like we are able to control the aggression of the music as it extends into each platform. All right. So say we've got like 2 guitar players and a keyboard player. All right. So we've got 3 guys that could everybody in the band can sing. But you got these great musicians to where everybody needs to shine. You do Elizabeth Reed, say, by the Allman Brothers. Everybody, you can do 2 songs for an hour for a set in an Allman Brothers band. You can just do 2 songs and just like let everybody just do, but they're following a certain guideline that's stepping up the ladder. And the bass player, which I was doing, I was kind of driving. It wasn't that I was driving everything. I would step up my progression every time that we would get up to a point to where the next guitar player would take over.
Okay.
And then blah, 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 and then another guitar player would take over. And then the bass player would take over. That extends stuff to where you're going from like 4, 5, 6 minutes to a song to where you're just like, okay, we got one more song to do and we're going to the house. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I've got these videos to where it's not that we're trying to overproduce or anything like that. It's that's the way like bands like the Allman Brothers wrote. High-end progressions. Everybody had a job in the band to do. You got to have the ego to step back as a bass player and let these other guys shine. And that's where we always demanded everything from the guys. I played in an ACDC tribute band for 15 years, Chicago Bonfire. The first show that I did with them was at the Chicago Playboy. It was the Milwaukee Playboy Mansion in Madison. We did the Chicago Playboy building. And I was the bass player. Wasn't doing nothing. I just made it look good. You know what I'm saying? I'm just playing do 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 do, but I made it look good. And you got to let these guys who have the talent just stand up and give eachbody a turn to express their talents, and then just step back. You drive. I'm the driver. See, I'm going to bring each progression up one at a time. I add something, another realm, get up to a point to where, and then I bring it back down. The guitar players need to follow in a way to where I know after so many years with these guys, their guitar licks. I'm a drummer. I'm a bass player. I'm a guitar player. I know where these guys are going to go. I know when they're playing their licks. I go, I've heard that lick before. All right, so I'm going to bring it up the next notch. They're going to come out of it. We're going to go up that next notch. And you just bring it back, and then everybody has to have the ego to pull it back down, and then you pass it along.
Yeah. So you're.
Wow, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was.
Sorry. I'm sorry, dude. Did I make you want to cry?
No, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's not my job.
You're talking about an ensemble effort.
It's a job. It's my job to do one thing. It's everybody's else's job to do another thing without anybody having this kind of thought that there's some kind of control over what is being produced.
Well, yeah, it's an effort, right? If you're, it's a band, right?
Well, we all have a job to do,
right.
and you just do it. Yeah.
Right. And those that are soloists don't want to deal with other musicians, so I get it.
In a way, yeah. I mean, if all you want to do is play G, C, D, E, A minor, and stuff like that, you can get by with that kind of stuff all day. But when you want to play, I did a song I just learned. This was a Hole in My Heart by Extreme. There's a lot of structure in that stuff. There isn't just like where you can get away and do this song where you're playing just a couple chords. There's you just can't just.
Yeah, that's a complex. It's a complex.
There's a hole in my heart that can only be filled by you.
You're saying there's just something in that kind of material where it's like you're just not trying to get away with something.
Yeah.
You know, I always want to do just like, well, I had to go home this week and learn this fucking thing for you. All right. And I learned it as best as I could instead of just reading it off of some chart or something like that.
That, for those that don't know this song, it's Extreme. It came out in the early 90s on Porno Graffiti.
Yep.
And 3, was that?
That was their second album.
Well, he was the dude. He sang. He was the vocalist for Van Halen for one album.
Right, Gary Sharon.
Yeah, Gary Sharon. Yeah. And this song it's their biggest selling song, but it is completely nothing like any of their other music.
Because first of all, you're not approaching a song as like a song. You're not grabbing your guitar and going, I'm gonna go to G. I'm gonna go to A, my baby's just to the E, and then bang to the C. Well, just no.
But I mean, yeah. So sorry, let's kind of stick on this, Mike. It's like that song. Growing up, I was, just around high school time frame, and a lot of that was the music I was listening to, and that Extreme is a very underrated band. Right?
I toured many years with Dokken and Jackal and Skid Row and Blue Öyster Cult, LA Guns. I did so many shows with these guys. I was pretty. I was pretty than all you motherfuckers in here right now.
What happened?
What happened? You know why?
What happened? What happened?
You know why? Because I had a contract with Maybelline. Okay, doing it good. No, seriously, I was pretty. There you go. I'm telling you, we had girls that used to come into our damn booth, and they would just make us look fucking fabulous. And I have a bright green sparkle pair of spandex that are in my drawer right now. It's the last pair I had, man. And my grandmother looked at pictures of me, and she looked at me and my cousin. We were in the same band, and she goes, "Are you guys gay?" What do you say to that? We were pretty. We tried to be pretty. And we were bad guys, but that was that era.
Yeah, right.
And even that era, the music that was out was so simplistic to what it was. I think Kevin's shaking his head in the
in
realm,
certain areas, yeah.
In certain,
if you're talking about Aquanet rock,
yes,
yeah.
I'm just saying It was very easy. Once you understood the progressions that everybody was using at those times, you can just do something. We were in this challenge mode. We were like we're gonna do these 2 songs this weekend. We didn't even practice them. We just expected each other to show up to the gig, and these are the 2, and then that way we can like hack each other on stage. We're just like, you suck. No. So we just like hack the other guys on stage, because you didn't really work at it, So.
Yeah, it's funny.
That time frame is that when that song came out, you're talking about the hole in your heart. Is what was also big at the same time was Mr. Big.
Well, that was the whole thing. That was part of it, wasn't right? It was that kind of.
Big.
There was like
another
connection.
ripping guitar player, right?
Paul Gilbert.
Paul Gilbert. Oh my God,
Who's
man.
still out there touring?
Billy Sheehan. I saw Billy Sheehan open up for Van Halen the 1984 tour. He was with a band called Tangent, and he walked out in front of me. I was like four rows back from this guy, and he walked up the bass. He was like, "Did it?" and he's like pounding it. So he's playing chunks of lacquer coming off of this guy's bass into my face because he was just an animal.
And now he's in the Winery Dogs with Richie Kotz and that.
Now he's drinking wine and eating, drinking
band
cheese.
Is a great
and,
band.
That's
Mike Portnoy on drums. Well, the guy's not a drummer now, but
well, it's a big incestuous kind of thing that's going. Tony Levin is a big. I've always loved
Tony. I've always loved Tony.
As a big bass guy, that's I
Giant
consider
in
my
the
main
rock
instrument is bass. Tony is just like amazing. I've seen Peter Gabriel more than anybody, than any artist I've ever seen. And Tony is just like, that guy's, he gets paid to have fun.
Have you seen the new?
What's up with that, babe? He gets paid to have fun?
Yes. Have you seen the new King Crimson? Adrian
Yes.
Belew and Steve Vai playing
Yes.
all the
Yes.
parts?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's just wrong when guys
Who's playing bass for them?
No, Tony Levin. Well, they got Tony Levin, but you could have. Is it?
No,
it's
but
like,
on the tour that's now.
Oh, I don't know. If it's not Tony Levin, it'd have to be like Stuart Ham, or you'd have to like put some like serious.
They're on
like,
tour at the moment.
You'd have to be serious, man.
So was it the Winery Dogs you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about Adrian Belew is touring, playing the King Crimson music.
There you go.
So you got to have Alan Fripp or Bill Bruford on drums, maybe.
Steve Vai is playing the Robert
Yes,
Fripp
I
parts.
saw that.
But I don't know. It's not Bill Bruford. It's somebody else. And then I don't know who's playing drums. And I don't know
Because
who's
my
playing
keyboard
bass.
player, I think I mentioned this to you earlier or last week or whatever. He's like he bugged me.
Will you fact check us?
He
Who's
bugged me
playing
all week, didn't he? He was like
Adrian
for a
Belew
whole
on
week.
tour?
He was like, "Hey man, Tony Levin's coming to Miami." And it was like, I was like, "Well, dude, this weekend I'm going to be actually in. I'm trout fishing." In North Carolina. He goes, "Hey, I think he's gonna be up there." I'm like, "Dude, you want me to get away from my trout fishing to come up and see you?" I'm sorry, did I say it like that? I love you, Greg, man. All right, but it was Tony Levin. He knows I'm a big fan. The stick.
I'm a huge fan of Tony Levin.
I mean, just if anybody's ever seen a stick, it's basically a flat oriented bass chunk of ebony, and you put these sticks on your fingers and you're playing bow, 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 like a piano hammer.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, like a piano hammer. So that you stick them on the end of your fingers. So instead of you got videos where he's playing like regular basses and all this, but he's got this thing, the stick, where he puts these fingers. It's like a hammer, and so as he's playing boom, boom. You know what I'm talking about.
The Chapman stick, invented by Emmett Chapman,
Sick as can be,
one
dude.
of its biggest proponents is Tony Levin.
Yeah. I mean, not only is it like some awesome fretless bass, but with him using piano hammers on the end of his fingers, it's just the craziest
Insanely
thing.
cool.
Heard. It's
So that sounds like
insanely cool.
that's a drum thing here. That sounds more like more rhythm if it's a piano thing.
There's a stick player in town. His
Oh, really?
name- yeah, his name is.
We're drawing a blank.
He has a name, and his name is super cool guy, and his name is just right out of my head. I can see his face.
Hold on.
In other news, I think the drummer you're looking for before was Danny Carey.
He's playing with Adrian Blue and Steve Vai doing the.
Really?
On the new tour.
It says
cool.
It says in 2024, Adrian Belew, a renowned musician and former member of King Crimson, embarked on a tour with a new supergroup called Beat.
Okay.
The lineup features Belew alongside Tony Levin, also a former King Crimson member.
Yes.
Steve
Vai.
guitar, Danny Carey drums.
Danny Carey on drums. Yeah, it's Tony Levin's playing bass with
they're
him.
they're listing Stephen Vai as a prior.
No, Tony Levin as a prior member.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah. It was Steve Vai. What'd they say about him there, dude?
He sucks.
Yeah. Okay. No, the artist that I was trying to think of who plays Chapman Stick locally, his name is Flint Blade. I'm so sorry.
I
Flint.
know Flint Blade.
Yeah.
I know of him.
Yeah.
So the Chapman Stick he's talking about, that's what Flint plays.
Yeah.
Sorry, Flint.
Sorry, we lost Mike because I just fucking thrashed Steve. Of course I'm supposed to thrash the guitar players, man. That's my job here. It's in my job description. We lost Mike. All right, anyway, so.
Steve Vai does not suck.
Yeah. All right, so anyway, so we'll go ahead and cut to maybe we'll transition into do you want to do a song review, Mike, with us?
Hey,
We're going to review
let me do my Harry Carey. Hey, what if the moon was made of cheese? Would you eat it then? Yes, I'll review anybody, and I'll tell you what, I'm a nice guy.
Well, it doesn't matter
As a prior school teacher of music, I will give my honest opinion of where they need to excel, what they need to
Absolutely.
Well, I
So
have a
we have a
question.
unique way. Oh, you have a question? Go ahead.
What age group did you teach?
Anywhere from 5 years old to 18 years old. I taught 8 years at Dynamite Music School in Griffith, Indiana. I had 8 students a week, Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it was great. And I was honest with the parents to say, hey, look, your kid is coming here. He ain't doing shit, so quit spending your money. But it wasn't that the rock thing was the big thing. We were taking, I was a drum teacher, bass player, drummer teacher. We were putting our students with keyboard players, other guitar players, and stuff like that. And instead of our auditions being like Kumbaya, we were doing like Rammstein. We're doing Rush, we're doing that. We're putting the top end students with the median end students and boom down the line. And when you push them, that way your parents get there. They don't get there at the auditorium and they're going to hear your kid do, whatever.
Hot cross buns.
Yeah. You're saying, but we were really so we had like kids doing like Du Hast. And we had like take it from the top, and it depends on. And so we had all the other teachers. We would be like, I would go to him and say, "Who's the best?" Blah 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 blah. And we go, have them do this. That was a really enjoyable time, man. Watching these little kids get up there and trying to like really push themselves. So it wasn't like parents crying because their kid was singing "Let It Be" by the Beatles, which was very admirable. It was very admirable with. Having the kids do this crazy, just most bizarre stuff, even if they messed up in the middle of the recital, who cared? We knew what we expected. They knew what we expected. Their parents knew that we were expecting that because they were spending outrageous amounts of money, having us teachers doing that. So I did that for like 12, 13 years. Yeah.
Interesting.
That is awesome. So, as a former music teacher, what we want you to do is we want you to help us review this song through a very particular lens. What we're going to do is we're going to very judiciously decide, is it the riff or is it the rhythm that makes this song?
Oh, I've been here, man. I heard you guys review my shit, and both of y'all, just meet me out in the parking lot. We're talking about this right now.
We'll stand by
Wow.
our decision.
Sorry.
Hey, you know what? At least, thank you for watching the podcast.
Okay, so
Yeah, we got them to at least
All right,
watch
so-
one.
That's right. That's right.
so
Everyone gets
here's the
nervous.
question: is it the music or is it the vocal?
Is it the riff or is it the rhythm?
The riff or the rhythm?
And I'd like to remind you that you were on the Riffs and Rhythms
I
podcast.
say it's almost like it's the title of the show.
I thought it was Rums and Drums, man, because I'm just ready to just pass out right here on this beautiful cream carpet from 588 to 300.
Oh, gee.
Empire today.
Did you say vampire? Oh, vampire. Yeah, there goes that sponsor.
So let's see. So we're gonna hear this right now.
So this is a band called the Smoke Boss Militia.
Yes. Okay.
So
I
I need
miss
to
something?
be quiet and listen to this.
Well, look, so it's
Well, no, we talk over it. It's like
Yeah.
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
yeah. So again, it's about the right.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, exactly.
So are we ready here? So all right. So here we go. So all right, we're gonna hit here. This is the Smoke Boss Militia. They were guests on the podcast previously here
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, and this is their song "Misunderstood." Lyric video. Here we go. Is it the riff or is it the rhythm?
I remember it was funny 'cause I don't remember anything. Most times you were crying 'cause I missed your call to worship even though you posted time.
So right now I'm hearing it's very driving. It's the kick drum, right?
When I think something's right, I'm wrong. I'm not trying to start any fight. I'm just going back where I belong. No, you wish I would just fall in line. And sometimes I wish that I could. I am not misunderstood.
Hit the driving rhythm.
I'm back at home now. Ain't trying to figure out who did what wrong with or who did what first. And I spent some days believing I was lost or I'd been fucking targeted or I was cursed. But when everything's black or white, and I stay till I'm black and blue. Every dark day believes a dark night. Neither one has a scrap of a clue. No, I'm not the hero that you want. I'm not your personal Robin Hood. I am not misunderstanding. I am just misunderstood. Solo.
Still hearing the predominant rhythm going on here.
It's 145. Everything is 145. Boom, doo, 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 doo.
So I would assume, Kevin, that this is probably Andy, right? I would assume, right? I don't know. I have to ask him, right?
Yeah, on guitar.
I think it's solo, right? Yeah.
I mean, but other than that, even the simplicity of what is going on is like the 145, and then sometimes I'll go to like a 7. It's nice, man. It's,
Ooh, I hear a little organ.
I'm just what's not to like about this, man?
No, I know,
Really?
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like. Am I picking up? Maybe a little more.
I mean, that's beautiful, man. It's
I'm hearing.
Banjo.
I like the hi-hat work. You hear it?
there we go, the odd meter. Nice turnaround.
I'm just hearing way too much commanding. I am not misunderstanding. I am just misunderstood.
Excellent, man. Very nice.
So there you go. The Smoke Boss Militia, Misunderstood.
I swear to God, I would drink 3 or 4 gallons of draft beer with those guys, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
definitely
they're-
drinking music.
Oh yeah,
It really is. Yeah, very nice.
they're super cool. They were here. The last.
Yeah,
2 weeks
it
ago.
doesn't feel right to hold a glass for that song. It feels right to hold it like I'm just misunderstood.
So yeah. So with
I mean, it's like the structure goes. Is I went to college. The structure is basically a 1-4-5 progression, and with the 7 that's coming in, but with the injection of just that nice. You just can't go wrong, man. No matter how simplistic the music is, if you hit that nerve with striking people with the happiness in which you're playing and the voice, very nice, man.
Yeah.
Digging it.
yeah, very cool. So all right.
Can we play it again?
No, but we're going to talk about what we're doing with
Wow,
this
I'm gonna
review.
go. I'm gonna go bathroom. I'll be right back. Thank you.
You gonna listen to yourself in the bathroom?
So, what we're doing is yeah. So we're going to talk about whether or not it's the riff or the rhythm that makes a song a good song. So, what do you think, Mr. Rhythm?
I definitely think it was a rhythm.
Nope, we don't talk about the melody. We just talk about the riff or the rhythm.
She hasn't joined the podcast yet. Melody has not joined the podcast yet.
Now, this song did have riff.
Yes.
It's got the characteristic bluegrass style.
They talked about,
riff
yep.
over each chord, but it doesn't have any kind of thematic motif as a riff.
I didn't hear any major licks.
Yes.
I guess, right? Yeah.
So as a result, I'm going to go with the rhythm because it's that
yeah.
2 beat that is the predominant driver of the song.
Yeah, yeah. I do. As they talked, as Andy and Lucia talked about how much, when they recorded this music and there was a lot of layering of different instruments and obviously the cucharia, cucamongra. What'd you call that thing?
La cucaracha.
No. The cuchilla, the Coachella.
The cucina.
What did you?
Cuica.
Thank you, Cuica. Yes, yeah, that's right.
You're the rhythm specialist. You don't know what a cuica is?
To be honest, well, again, then I went and looked up the video because I want to make sure I spelled it right for the last week's episode. That was the name. It's like, what did you do to your cuica? And I watched the video on YouTube, and the guy's sitting there with a drum, and he goes like this, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot. Yeah,
It was less about quickas, more about quickies.
Yeah, I know. That was definitely an interesting, and there's a whole lot of hand motions going on in that.
Right.
That
Sorry.
that drum. Yeah. So, have you ever heard of a cuica?
I just
Mike?
had to leave for a second.
A cuica is when you get done real fast in Puerto Rico.
What'd you say, queef? Did you say queef? Did you say that? Did he just say that in public?
You know what? Maybe it does have the same sound actually. We right.
It does. That's why they call it, because
I'm
it
just
sounds
saying-
like cuica.
So I went to the bathroom.
Like
and
I-
anytime that I go to the bathroom, and I'm in there going to the bathroom, and I'm here.
There you go. All right. So you're a fan.
So do you usually hear carnival music when you go to the
I'm just
bathroom?
saying, it
Is
was
that the
really
deal?
made me want to just jump out and drink a beer.
Yeah. No.
What's the name of the guys?
Smoke Boss Militia.
Hey, man.
There you go.
Here you go, bro.
The smoke boss. They're not the beer boss militia. They're the smoke boss militia.
This is German beer because it doesn't count because it doesn't say Michelob Light or Ultra on it.
Well, you definitely have to watch the episode that dropped, their second episode where they talked about how they got the name of the band and how we found out Andy, spoiler alert, Andy is the smoke boss.
Andy is in the smoke boss embodied.
It sounds like me and this guy got to hook up.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah. No, I think there's definitely. So they've got a little plug for them again because they were a great guest there. They got a album, or what did we determine it was a?
This is dope. When you actually Google the Smoke Boss, he's the first thing that comes up. Like, for real.
Wow, that's pretty.
So
cool.
not only is he the smoke boss, but he's an SEO expert.
On at least on Brave Search,
So
Brave. What is Brave Search?
which is a little bit more obscure than Google Search, which I think is actually in his favor. Means that he's reaching deeper places.
Oh, the dark.
When you search-
the dark web.
It's not dark web.
I thought that was only legal in Arkansas.
When you look up the Smoke Boss,
I thought that's what my grandmother told me.
me
It's
try
like,
Google.
don't go to because when you go to Arkansas, they're gonna reach deep in just dark places. I'm like, okay. She's like, and don't trust women with ugly feet. just pressing
That's
it.
a new one. That's a new one for me, right? So
Confucius say, Don't trust women with ugly
with
feet.
ugly feet. Yeah.
So okay, so they have an album re-release coming out December 13th at the Lake Worth down in Lake Worth.
Rudy's.
No, Bamboo Room. And so yeah, they've got a whole show coming up there. So yeah, I don't know, again, you check it out there.
I mean, it's marvelous.
Yeah.
It's bluegrass country kind of.
No.
I call it punk grass.
Yes. So they said that they are adamantly, Andy said it was definitively that they don't want to be defined by any genre of kind of stuff. But yeah.
But I told you I was a military brat. I spent many years in Bristol, Virginia, Tennessee, the coal mines of Virginia, West Virginia, Bluefield, Jenkins, Coburn, Kentucky, all Lynchburg, Blacksburg. There was the guitar player that I was playing with in high school his dad was like this famous bluegrass player, and I learned how at that age to go, yeah, these dudes, they're not like, they're not doing stuff that we know we're doing. These guys are on a whole different level.
Oh,
these
those bluegrass players are awesome.
Yeah. And these two, and there was like 20 of them standing around this coffee table. Look, it was a coffee table this high in the middle of a room, just filled with liquor bottles. There was like 25 guys standing. And man, we just at 16. That was a great experience, man. Watching these dudes.
That's when you became a man.
Banjo, there was so much going on in this music.
Yeah.
It was just like
One of my favorite concerts ever went to was Chet Atkins and Doc Watson in Appalachian State University Stadium in Boone, North Carolina.
Boone,
middle of
baby,
90s.
Boone.
The middle
She
of
knows about all. We know all about Boone, man. Yeah.
And this concert was freaking Doc Watson and Chet Atkins, two of the masters of guitar.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, dude. Those guys. When you like sit down for like 10 minutes a day and go, what am I gonna do today that's different than anybody else? Go to that guy. Listen to. Go to Yeehaw, and watch
Roy Clark.
Roy Clark. Okay, he just thought he was some kind
That
of
man is a
clown. He's like,
motherfucker.
that guy is you can't compare the talent that guy would have with anybody on the planet. He was so phenomenal. What are you guys passing around?
I got to work with Roy Clark. That guy's a monster.
Hey, did you really?
Yes,
Roy.
yes. He's a monster and super cool.
I actually opened up for Buck Owens, the Buck Owens band at Conway City Twitty Theater with Johnny Overstreet.
No kidding.
That was a long time ago, man. And in the Buck Owens band, those guys, give me a break.
Yeah, great
They
musicians.
they didn't know what they were doing when they got there. When they got up on stage, you were like, "What?" They were taking notes on legal pads, talking to each other in the dressing room. And this is what we're gonna do. And when they got up there and they did that show, and you were like, "Oh my God!" They wrote that shit out in the dressing room.
Yeah, and so for the kids out there,
For the kids.
Devin.
Hee Haw was a show. It was on 7:00 every weeknight, and these musicians it was a comedy show, but they had top quality country and bluegrass musicians, and they would get up there, and right before the camera started, they'd be like, "What song you want to play?" And they would say this, and then they would play it and nail it.
Yeah.
Better than what can be done
key-
today with modern technology.
You would say they would say what key you want to do it in.
Yeah.
So if they said something that's like so simple that was like, let's do it in the key of A. If they did a progression to where it's like they're going to start the progression off and end with the song in the progression, they'd be they did all that intricate. Then they end the song right here. And you're like, what? You're not supposed to do that.
You want to see some amazing guitar?
Yeah.
Just Google Roy Clark Hee Haw, and you'll be watching amazing music.
He was so good, man.
Hours.
Very underrated guitar player. Roy Clark was just like smoking. He was like a god.
Among
When
the
it-
best ever.
Really, one of the best, period. You know, John McLaughlin. There's all kinds of great players. Robert Fritt. All these great music. Alan Holdsworth. You can always name a bunch of guys that were like great players, but Roy Clark was like kind of on a different level when it came to like just playing something, taking what was normalized and just expanding it to where you go, well,
The first country guitar player that I could say actually shredded.
he was a shredder, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he
he
was
a country shredder.
He was, man. He was.
So so do you think then he obviously? I mean, I think I already know your guys' answer to this is he got the credit. You know, like some people say, they didn't recognize him as.
I don't think he ever got the credit. I don't think he ever really got the credit that he ever deserved, man.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you consider all the guitar players everybody's like raising hell about and just giving these like, I'm coming.
Yeah, Roy Clark eats them for breakfast.
He eats them for breakfast, man. I mean, I love Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck Wired and Blow by Blow are two excellent albums. But when you come into Roy Clark with somebody who's like structurally just competent,
Yeah, but you can't compare.
you
Jeff
can't
Beck.
compare that. You know what I'm saying?
Jeff
You
Beck
just-
is
different
got an
levels,
amazing
different
technique
levels.
all by
Jeff
himself.
Beck Wired is like one of my favorite albums. Jeff Beck Wired, Sophie.
But so like the thing with Jeff Beck,
Yeah,
I got to tell you the story about Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck is the king of tone, and I just recently did a series of posts, and in one of which was the four things that contribute to my tone the most are my fingers. And I went and I got special backstage.
Hold on, Kevin. Mike's blocking the camera with his
Yeah,
ass
Mike's
there.
blocking
You're
his-
telling the story.
You're huge, right?
It's an ass cam right now.
was it? No, wait a second. That was the ass cam.
That was
Yeah,
yes.
that's the ass cam. That's the between the trailers ass cam.
That's sounds
chunk-
like some
that's
weird
chunk.
military project right there. He was taken out by the ass cam.
Chunk cam.
Missiles came down from the sky with the ass cam.
I'm trying to come up with some military thing, like the.
But you were talking about Jeff Beck. Wasn't he just
and-
like smoking?
Ask him en route. 3 clicks out. Over.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing, my Jeff Beck story is, I got to see Jeff Beck live at the Hard Rock Orlando, and I got special. They have special like side stage seats, but like balcony side stage. So you're like backstage, but on a balcony. And so we got there and we got to see Soundcheck. And it was Orlando, and there's a ton of giant music stores in Orlando. And Jeff Beck obviously was endorsing a nameless guitar company at the time, a guitar amplifier company at the time. But for those of you in the know, they had red knobs, but then they never had red knobs. They had red knobs for a little while, and the red knob amplifiers were terrible. And so they got rid of the red knob amplifiers. But this was the red knob amplifier era. And so,
Fender?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. So, yes, right on target. Thank you. So, these kids from the music store are unboxing these brand new
Fenders?
amplifiers. Beep.
You missed.
And so Jeff Beck pulls out, the white Jeff Beck Strat, and he plugs into these amps, and he hits a chord, and he's like, he changes all the knobs and hits a chord. He's like, ugh. Changes all the knobs, hits the chord, and you can tell he just gives up on changing.
You must be talking about.
amplifiers.
Yes.
So I'm sitting there going, I've worked with a lot of artists. Right now, he's going to throw a fit. He's going to start screaming at his road manager, and he's going to make everybody take all that crap off the stage, and there's going to be a big issue.
And
What happened instead was he kind of went like this, and he just kind of went like this, and he played a note, and it sounded like Jeff Beck. It was like beautiful. Like 2 minutes ago, he was banging on the guitar, and it sounded like Music Store Saturday Morning. And then he just flexes, gets his hands in the right spot, and like the most beautiful Jeff Beck
adjusted
tone.
his technique to the tone of the amplifier.
He was getting every bit of sound out of these, and that was a big lesson for me.
Beck was the guy, man. I mean, when Bull by Bull came out, I went out and bought this beautiful standard ebony Les Paul that was based on the structure of everything that he did on
Blow by Blow.
Blow by Blow, and I had a collision with my truck, and I lost a lot of equipment and everything. So I had to sell one. I wanted to sell one instrument that I had in my possession to pay for everything, and I sold that Les Paul, and I just kill myself to this damn day, man. I just growing up, you listening to like Blow by Blow, and I mean, when you have like guys like Jan Hammer playing with you and stuff like that, that's such a privilege, because you'd think that guitar players that are more on the bluesy end have to rely on guys like Ronnie Montrose. They rely on a certain sound that they developed, like with the L5 series, Lab series, and stuff like that. There's a reason why they depend on that stuff. And when I saw, I was able to I was going to buy his guitar from the Blow by Blow album.
Wow.
Jeff's guitar?
Yes,
Jeff's
I was going to buy
Black
it.
Les Paul?
And it was just ridiculous.
How many tens of millions of dollars was that?
It was about $55,000 he went over that thing, and so
Fair enough.
what I did is I went ahead and I purchased one that was constructed basically with the simulations. It was like when I set up my Ritchie Blackmore rig. I have a Ritchie Blackmore rig. I set up a certain amplifier with a TAC 212 reel to reel. I want to use a reel to reel tape recorder, because that's the preamp that Ritchie Blackmore always used. So I'm looking this week. Me and my girl are going this week, and I'm going to be looking at this beautiful Stratocaster. And the whole thing was like, you got to develop that sound, and Beck was able to capture a sound with the tones of the guitars that he had. I was willing to spend at that time any amount of money I wanted on that. So I got a cheap one. And then when I wrecked my car, the one I spent the money on, I got robbed.
Oof.
Ow.
I got robbed.
Ow.
Yeah. So.
And you've talked, Kevin, just recently you posted some stuff about in your page about your hands, and and talking about that. That's obviously what you're referring to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did a series of posts on my social media about
Hand
how
modeling.
did I get the sound, my guitar sound on the album. And so I featured my guitar amp, my speakers, my picks, my fingers.
Let him know, man. Come on.
No, that's it. There's nothing. It's hands, guitar, chord, amplifier, speakers. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I should include the microphones that got used.
There you go.
Nothing special there. SM57.
I mean, if you use one like at a 45, a degree angle towards the cone, and then you're using one like 3 feet out from the front of the amplifier. A lot of guys do that. They'll do one.
Ooh,
They'll do one like so the speaker cone is coming at you. So you got the cone angle like here. You have guys that'll do this, and you have guys that'll do this. They'll put two of them, so you're getting that ambience between the 45-degree angle, because that's the way speakers are meant to run. They're not meant to run like right in your face, man. They're meant to.
Yeah, the off-axis sound is the best.
They're meant to run like this, right? So this right here is where you're getting that optimum sound right there.
Yeah,
a lot
agree.
of people. This right here is in your face. I played gigs to where the ACDC band I played with, we were so loud, I was just like, it would rattle my pants. I'd be like, and I hit notes, and my pants and my whole body would just like, I'm standing from this big, massive wall of stuff. Please go to my Facebook and look at the amp pegs and the Marshalls standing behind me. Imagine what that feels like. I'm just telling you, it's right in your face. Well, it's not in my face.
There's a thing.
It's in my butthole. Okay, and I'm very protective. What? Did I say something that was wrong? Okay.
No, but there's a thing. Like when you were bashing out volume at that level with Marshall stacks and SVT 810s, you can literally lean back against the airwaves. And
you had to judge where you
and lean back
were.
against them.
You had to judge where you are. You're playing and you're just like, dang, it's like stuff is pushing you forward. You had to just kind of just go back a little bit more just to come up. And you're doing, thunder.
His butthole comment is not that out of pocket because I can kind of relate. Because I was at a club in Tampa for a friend's DJ set, and they had an array of like these crazy subwoofers, and I could feel it in my nutsack. I swear to you.
Ting, your little buddy.
Huh?
Yeah, just take.
Wait. Are you, Devin? Are you saying that
You're in jail now. Rock and roll, heavy metal. What?
Devin? Are you saying that you and Mike are butt buddies?
No comment.
That's all right. I'm not P. Diddy.
Okay, all right.
No
all right,
Diddy.
sorry.
No,
no
no Diddy.
They had similar experiences at different times in different
There you
cities.
go. All right. So Mike. So hold on. So sorry. So
Ethnicity.
we got a part here. So we want to hear another Tales on the Road story from you. Okay. So I know you. I'm not quite sure how
but
you're
this
gonna
is the. All right,
Yeah.
I've been listening to Paul do this long enough. I can do it now.
There you go.
We are lucky enough to have a sponsor of the podcast. It is the House of
Wine, beer, and spirits. This is the MVP of the week.
Absolutely, and they supply us with nameless whiskey that we are enjoying very much.
Very much.
They supply us with all kinds of fun stuff, and so the House of Wine, Beer, and Spirits is sponsoring Tales from the Road here on the Riffs and Rhythms podcast.
Technically the MVP, but we'll go with it.
Oh no, you just asked them for Tales from the Road.
Well, Tales from the Road, but they do the MVP. But anyway.
Well,
they
now they're
sponsor.
doing both.
Yeah, they do both anyway. They're giving us booze. We don't drink. We drink for free around here, actually. Yeah.
All right, so I was trying to be all eloquent about it, but thanks for the free booze, everybody. So, Mike, how you doing?
How do you top that? You getting permission for a story?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm just like going through the vocabulary.
And it may be something embarrassing about yourself.
No, it's
or
not.
Somebody in the
It's gonna be
band.
something very.
A way to make fun of the drummer.
No, let's do something that's very disturbing for us as musicians.
Wait, did you say disturbing?
Yeah, sure.
Disturbing.
I think he said disturbing.
He said disturbing.
And can I rant a little bit? I mean, when I get to the end of it, it won't be a rant. It'll be just like I want some people to understand that what we do.
You got 6
For
minutes.
what
You
we
got
do.
6 minutes to rant.
Go for it.
Holy shit, dude. All right, here we go. Hey, cheers, everybody.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Get that camera going right there. Wow. Here we go. My girlfriend dropped her phone, but that's okay. She just solved a word with 8 consonants on Scrabble. There we go.
Oh, that is impressive. Good
Yeah, I
job.
know.
All right,
There you
cheers.
go.
Despite the limitation of her blonde hair.
The word was, Michael, what was it? What am I mean? All right, so it's like, yeah, that's a word. Yeah, that's CTH on the end of that.
Did you just have a seizure?
Was that one of those Czechoslovakian words that you're talking about?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you something that is completely identifiable on the news.
All right, so make sure we're recording on all cameras here. Make sure.
He's gonna be over here digging into this shit right here. So
Yeah. Let
There we
him
go.
tell the story first, Devin.
19, I think it was like 1987, 1988, somewhere around that area. I was with a band called Toys. We were young, we were pretty, we had no responsibility. We lived in college dorms and were going to school to use the educational system for musical knowledge and couldn't do math when we left there. So we're playing a club in Johnson City, Tennessee. It was one of the biggest. We had just opened up with a bunch of bands coming through that area. Pat Travers, Quiet Riot. All these groups were coming through at that time, and when it came to Knoxville, Johnson City, Bristol, Tennessee, we were the guys.
The
man.
Tri-City
we were
area.
we were the toys. We were just a bunch of pretty guys that were prettier than all the girls that came to our show. So anyway, we had deals. We were just like, girls would show up to our show and they'd do our makeup and all this stuff, and we were going out and doing these great shows. We were getting ready to go on tour. And we did a show at a place called Thirsties, not Thirsty Turtles, Thirsties in Johnson City, Tennessee. It was the biggest rock bar. There were two big rock bars, Thirsties and Cowboys. We just had opened up for Pat Travers at Cowboys. Pat Travers came off the bus. We were with this band. We were with this program, with this company. We supplied all the main frontline and PA stuff. Other words, bands were coming in and we were doing like XYZ, YYT, Nantucket, all this stuff. We were supplying the main PA, and we would set up in front of their backline. We split the money half and half. Okay,
With the sound company.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me explain how that works. It's
That's pretty
pretty
smart.
simple, right? So you have these bands, everybody's coming in, everybody wants to be famous and everything. We split the money half and half. We supplied our own equipment, frontline. The band that were headlining for would bring in their stuff behind us and their PA and everything. The lights, everything was ours. We do the show, boom. We pull our stuff off, boom. They come on, and we got half of the money. Why? Because we supplied all the lighting and PA and all that other stuff. So anyway, we were doing this show, and some people got kicked out at the show, and they left, and they came back with gas cans of fuel, and we're like right at the end of the night, and they come, and there was this like chain link section at the back of at Thirsties where they would put all the broken chairs and all this stuff, and the tanks for the syrup for the Cokes and all that stuff, and so they threw gas over it. So we're up on stage, last song of the night, and some friends of ours from a band that had just played at Cowboys right up the road come in, and he goes, "The fucking building's on fire."
Oh, was it Great White?
No.
Too soon?
We knew those guys. Enough's enough. All those guys. I'm telling you, Local H, all those guys. We were all that kind of in that genre of people. So the guy comes, he's, the building's on fire. So we're like, I'm grabbing my shit, I'm throwing it. It's like, get up on the microphone, hey, everybody. So we run outside, and whoever had come had thrown that gas into the chain link fence, into the stack of wood and chairs and all that shit that was stacked against the wall, and the fire was going up into the building. So it blew into the roof of this venue. We ran inside. It was like, everybody, please, the building's on fire. And everybody was really, cool. There wasn't, like a bunch of Beyonce bitches out there, like scratching each other's shit out, just because they just wanted to just get home to mama. They ran out of there. Okay, it had snowed the night before, so the snow trucks had pushed all the snow up against the walls of the building. So we're like chucking stuff out this backstage door. Cases, it didn't matter. If you didn't have a case, it didn't matter. I'm throwing my bases on stands out into piles of snow. Boom, just out into piles of snow. You started hearing sirens. Okay, we're rushing back in. The smoke in the building came down. It came down to like this. So here we are. We're coming down, and we're going back inside and grabbing stuff, just trying to save what we can. I lost a bunch of equipment. We all had, in this band, toys, it was a production band, so we all had jobs and what we paid for. Sound equipment, lighting equipment. I'm not talking about some lights, dude. I'm talking about like 66 par 64s. All right. And back then it wasn't like some LEDs where you're just like hooking up and chain and stuff together. I'm talking about dimmer packs, truss, all this stuff to just hold this stuff together. Back then, we didn't have like powered speakers, and we had like sorry. All right, so we had
Big
like
ass heavy amplifiers.
we had like racks of fucking QSC 1500s, man, and we're like what the fuck are you gonna grab, right? The guitar players had just went out and bought 2 Silver Jubilees full stacks. 2.
Throw them out into the snow.
One side. These was the band that I used to throw up in a picture while we were playing because I didn't give a shit. I'd be like, do behind the PA because I could get away with that. I mean, that's what we were doing. We were just like, who gave a shit? I'm just saying, as a bass player, I could do and grab a beer pitcher and walk behind the amps and go, and that's what we were doing. So we
Typical basis.
but we were supposed to be like insured and all this stuff anyway. So everybody's throwing shit out in this pile. And then the smoke was coming down. Next thing you know, the fire alarm went off. 15 minutes after the fire started, the fire alarms went off. So we're sitting there. We're thinking,
Alarm or sprinklers? Did it
the
have
alarms,
just alarms? No.
the
actual-
alarms,
okay.
the bells. So here we are thinking, dude, we're covered, man. Our insurance is going to cover this. It only covered anything that was inside of our trucks when we did it. So we're sitting outside, Glee one day, happy. I mean, not in a way that we were happy. We're like, at least we're covered, okay? The next morning, we found out that there's video on WJHL TV in Johnson City where we're all sitting around on this burnt hull of a building, and we're sitting there. It got so hot in that building that the beer coolers that didn't burn, all the beer inside the coolers, all the paint had burnt away from the cans. So we didn't know what we were drinking. We were just sitting there we're just grabbing these white cans where, you know what I'm talking about? Wait.
You switched from we lost all our gear to now we are drinking beer cans that have already been on fire.
That was the next morning.
You still
lost
there?
it.
You still there until the next morning?
While the fire was going on, the drummer from the band who noticed the fire comes running out with a bass drum. He's running out of the damn building with a bass drum with 2 mounted toms and a bass drum pedal hooked to it. And the cops just jump his ass. They're just like, you're not supposed to go in the building while it's on fire. That's against the law. And they're just beating his ass. And his girlfriend's like, well, what the hell did he do? She just, shut up, Dad. You want to go to jail? You just fuck you. And you're going to go to jail too. They were just like pissed. They were like, but we went to bed confident thinking our insurance would pay for all this shit. Nah, it wasn't happening. All right, we lost everything, $65,000 worth of equipment. It's all in newspapers, TV, commercials, and all that bullshit. All right, because I know. Look over at him.
He's chomping.
Yeah, chomp, brother.
All right.
All right.
I'm wondering
It
why
was
didn't the insurance
sad.
cover it?
Huh?
Why did insurance cover it? Because the police?
No,
Because
your gear's not insured.
if it's in the building,
at a place, you have to have your own insurance for it.
if it was in the if it was in the
separate
trucks,
insurance.
if it was in the trucks,
Yeah, it's like property. It's like property insurance. It's not in his property.
You're covered.
in your car. When you,
Oh, so you're talking about a different type of insurance? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
they didn't give a shit about us, man. All they
Gotcha.
wanted to do back in those days was just like use us. You know, we were just like little bitches
that hasn't changed.
in type glitches.
No, that's horrible. And your description is starting to sink in, and that had to be catastrophic.
Well, we all had a purpose in the band. Certain members, every time we made money, certain members of the band were assigned to upgrade our PA system.
okay.
Certain members were assigned to upgrade our lighting and effect system. I was in charge of me by myself investing into lighting and power. The power that went to the lighting. So I was invested into it's not like we were like at this point where you were just like walking into a fucking gig and plugging into the fucking wall, dude. We had like these big cases of like 16 gauge neoprene cables that we would like go into bars and we just like pull these things out 100 feet cables. We just like walk in and go behind the refrigerator and hook into their electrical systems like boom. And just that way, if somebody opened a refrigerator door and everything went out, it didn't matter. We were rocking. All right. So I had my money built in. So has anybody out there in the rock industry ever heard of a power supply?
I am totally familiar with what you're talking about. So
It's a big box, and what we did is we built our
distro.
own. We built our own a box where we had plugs and breaker boxes built into one big box. Part of it was 16 gauge cable, negative, positive, boom, stage, power cables, and all this stuff. We had breakers, okay. We were those kind of, hey, you know what? You know, your bartender opens up a beer fridge and, you know, and their shit goes out. It doesn't matter. We're jamming. All right. That's a lot of money, man, that I spent on that stuff. So that was good.
So how many lights did you have in your system?
66 par, 64.
60. Oh, so I'm going to give a little bit of.
And
science.
those are 500 to 1,000 watts.
Yeah. So each one of those par cans was 1,000-watt incandescent bulb.
They would burn your ass.
So he's pulling 64,000 watts of power just for lighting, not including the sound. And so in order to make that happen, what you had to do is you had to break electrical code and unscrew the screws on the electrical panel and tie in a head of the house 100
It's right to the
amp
pole.
breaker.
You're
You're just basically
going to
tied
the pole.
straight to the telephone
That's
pole.
what we did, going to the pole.
So what he's talking about is when all the breakers blew in the building because you're stealing all their power, he was smart enough to go ahead and take the power at the top of the stream and do all of that way. They had their own portable electrical service.
we were still jamming while you were spamming.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I'm
so let me go ahead and go on to say that not only did they have 6,400 watts of draw for their lighting system, but they probably had twice that much for their amplification system because those QSC 1500s had a very high power transfer ratio of 15%. So that 1,500 times 10 amplifiers was 10% of the draw that they actually took.
Kevin, you know what I'm talking about? We had to do math.
Yes.
Back in those days, okay?
Yes.
We had 2 racks of QSC 1500s, 2 big racks. It wasn't like somebody going up to, I got 2 speakers and a power amp. And I mean,
So
here we go. And then I'm talking about, we had these huge racks of these power amps. The loudest band I ever saw in my whole life was Iron Maiden. They had 72 QSC 1500 watt power amps. You know what that could do to, I mean, look, I can't have children ever again. I woke up the next morning traumatized. That's what that pure wattage can do, and that's what we were doing in bars.
So your
That's
pullout
what we
game
were
is
doing
strong?
in bars.
Yeah, so if you are currently an
I don't think it
electrician,
doesn't even need pull-out game. It's
if you're currently an
toasting.
electrician, all right, the two-phase
Thank
power
you.
that
I love
goes
you
to
backing me up on
the
this.
two-phase power that goes to a house. Imagine those wires from the transformer glowing orange because of the draw from this band right here.
That's right.
That
That's
is exactly
we're
what was
doing.
going on.
That's what we're doing.
And I'm not entirely convinced that it was gasoline that caused that fire. Now that I'm thinking
No,
about
there
it.
was 2 dudes that came back with some gas cans because there was this outer thing next to the building where they took all their chairs and broken bottles. Not broken chairs, broken tables, and they put it in with their what do you call them? Coke syrup containers.
Right.
Yes.
So they would
Yeah,
like
for the bar.
right. So they would
For the
came
fountain
so
machine.
They came out and they threw all this stuff. It was against the wall, and when they caught it on fire, it went straight up into the awning, straight into the roof. That's what happened. So it went from these guys. So we're out there like pitching snow on it we might as well be just standing there peeing on it for all I fucking know. You know, it wasn't doing nothing. We're just like sitting there just trying to throw snow. It wasn't. It was raging. It was absolutely raging. I mean, luckily, the system that I was running, I was doing double everything. I saved one rig and one bass. The guitar player lost everything. The other guitar player lost
All those brand new Silver Jubilee Marshalls.
our guitar on the other side of stage.
$40,000 worth of guitar amp.
The guitar player on the other side of stage lost a 1957 Moss Wright autographed Ventures Moss Wright.
Priceless.
I'm just telling you, you just can't do that. So the next day we went there. We went there and we're looking around this just devastation, and we sitting on this cooler. We're drinking white cans of beer out of the refrigerator, and I'm looking for my buddy Derek.
Pasteurized by trial by fire.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking for Derek's Moss Wright. What a beautiful. He was this kind of guy. He could play like Moonlight over Vermont. You know, born in blah. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, then he was like, hey, man, I think y'all sound really cool, man. I like that kind of stuff y'all doing over here. Oh, he was from, Jonesboro, Tennessee.
Johnson City. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was just, he was like, but he played, man. Hey, man, I love that stuff, man. That is pretty cool, man. I love it. But he's a great guitar player. He'd lost this Moss Wright. When we found it, because of the wood, it had got so hot, it burned through the stage. So we're talking about a 4-foot stage, right? Because of how solid that Moss Wright wood was, it got so red hot, it burned through the stage and fell on the ground. So we're looking through shit. I found my microphone in just a regular SF58 in a pile of molten metal with the head of the microphone sticking out of this pool of metal, right? So we're looking around, and then we see this hole, and we look down, and there's Derek's Moss Wright. I don't give a shit about, and what was really cool, Mike Mahaffey was our guitar player. I got to say this really quickly, man. I told her I wanted to say this. Mike Mahaffey was my roommate in college. He and his brother, Matt Mahaffey, wrote the soundtrack to, this is really hard, man. He was my roommate in college, Shrek 1 and 2.
Wow.
And he was one of my best friends, and I had, his brother, Matt, still lives in Sony Village in L.A. Michael was my best friend. The greatest Yngwie Malmsteen impressionist. This guy was like, and then I understand all that cool shit and this riffing, and that's what he chose, right? But he did something with his career. All right, Shrek 1 and 2, you just can't get away with just saying, hey, like, this is what I just did. All right, he passed away about 10 years ago from a heart attack. He came back after the premiere of Shrek 2 in Paris. He died of a heart attack on his couch. Wow. And it was, I was just like devastated. You know, well, what a great guy. I mean, me and that guy, we did a lot of tequila and girls. Did I just say that? I'm sorry.
The tequila made you say it.
Did I just say that? Did I just say?
Right,
Right, Mike would come in. I'd be like laying on the say, hey, man, there's this girl in my bedroom, man. You're gonna come over here and get rid of her. I'd be like walk into his room. I'd be like, hi, my name is Mike. You're gonna have to get your shit and just get the fuck out of here. And that's how bad we were in those days, man. Wow. Did I just get awarded something? Yeah. Thank you so much.
There you go. Read that.
Good fucking tequila.
Oh, there you go.
Man. Yeah, man. But it was
orange.
sad, man. I was really devastated when Michael passed away, man. He was a great friend. We lived together for 2 years at ETSU in college in Johnson City. We were both music majors at ETSU, and he he was like, I learned more from that guy than I did from any of the teachers at school. And wouldn't you think that it would just be natural that you would learn something more than just like what they're trying to pass off at you at school?
Like life, certain things that happen, right? That's definitely for sure. So these are some
Wow, that's
stories,
a
Mike.
traumatic tale from the road.
Yeah, so definitely a. So I mean, we're running out of time here.
Tune in as musicians lose thousands of dollars over minutes of fire time.
This is definitely like a sad story here going on here, right? So
Yeah.
So
I didn't mean to be sad. I mean, he was just such a great player.
Yeah. No. So we're talking about the equipment here and the gig, right? And that's some crazy shit that happened.
I'm getting ready to go spend some serious money this week.
Yeah.
That's all there's to it. I got some money, and
I think the best thing for you to do is, with all that money, is to buy a guitar for me.
Do you have a white Fender Stratocaster?
I do not have any Stratocasters in my life at the moment.
That's what I'm going to look at. Jimmy's Vintage Guitars, Auburndale, Florida.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. I called him this morning. He was like, "Yeah, I got an Eric Johnson. I got an Yngwie Malmsteen model. Of course, the Yngwie Malmsteen model is a scalloped.
Scalloped, yeah.
I mean, I love Blackmore and all those guys.
I love seafood, but I've never played a scalloped guitar.
But dude, thank you. He's Eric's.
He didn't pick up on the fact that you were asking him to buy your guitar.
Yeah, no, he
But
did.
I mean, but and I've
over
done
that, yeah.
I've done a lot of business with this guy, man, over the years.
Yeah.
I sold him. I had the first guitar I ever owned was a 1966 Gibson Hummingbird. The first guitar I ever owned, but it was a 1966. But it was a bitch, meaning that it was like pulled from different parts from different eras with different hatches and everything. So instead of like Clusons on the headboard, it had Grovers.
So they were replaced.
So what they did is they just did a bunch of just kind of things. So the value of the guitar was just as worth as much of anything that you were on the line right now and say, I want to buy a Gibson Hummingbird. It was about the same price for a guitar that was like 1966 and 1968. So I just decided to spend twice that amount of money on stuff that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? That's the way you go. So I'm going to go see this guy, Jimmy's Vintage Guitars in Auburndale.
I didn't know there was a guitar shop in Auburndale.
Auburndale, yeah, he's right on Main Street, right down there in the downtown area. He's got the greatest, coolest stuff. I'm talking about. Hey, you want a Marshall Plexi? 66
Yes, actually, I do.
There you go. You want a Marshall 66
like 4.
Plexi? Yes, I mean this is the guy to go see right there. He's. Yeah, I'm just telling you, he's the guy to go see, man. Okay, so I called him up this afternoon looking for an Olympic white Fender Stratocaster. He says, "Well, I've got one that's a Eric Johnson model, and one that's just a regular American Standard." So I'm gonna do what I can this week when I go over there next week.
All right, we want updates here, so we want to see some pictures.
Okay,
so
I'll let you know next week
yeah.
when we do the other taping. So
Yes, we want pictures.
Yes. So all right, so let's wrap this sucker up here. So wow, this is I'm not quite
Is
sure.
it time to wrap it up? Are we sure we're going to wrap it?
Yeah,
we
I hate to do that to you, man, but
we're definitely
No doubt there's
you,
stuff we
man.
haven't talked about. Have we talked about the Riffs and Rhythms Festival?
no, yeah. Let's wrap that. Let's,
do that.
Yeah, let's close. Let's close with it.
We should definitely discuss the Noxx and Dunn Riffs and Rhythms Music Festival. This is a thing that is the celebration of the first year of this entire podcast. Noxx and Dunn has been our rum sponsor. They are the primary sponsor for the event. We're doing it at the Disney-like and scenic Hobe Sound Farmers Market.
That's right.
In which nothing else like this has ever been done before.
And every musician who's played there, it's like, this is a perfect place to do a music festival there.
Yeah, it's ideal. It's right on the corner of I-95 and Bridge Road in Hobe Sound. We are going to be doing the first ever dedicated music festival at the Hobe Sound Farmers Market.
Yep.
And we are dedicated to this music festival, so much so that we want you to come because it's going to be fucking awesome. We got an eclectic mix of bands.
I know this
We've
is
got all kinds of sponsors. We've got all kinds of what are they called? They're called vendors.
Mhm.
It's going to be
Right.
cool as shit. Great.
Hopefully, there's
food.
more color there than there is on that poster.
Well, we what we
Hey,
did.
shut the fuck up. Who's paying for these printing things?
This is the Ted Turner Ready flag.
That's right. Yeah.
That's black and white all day. Hey,
It's-
check this out here. This one right here. Hey, zoom in on this one. This is pretty. Here we go. I'm gonna do this kind of thing right here.
Yes, it was. This is the Wizard of Oz version. Okay, so
But that was in color.
not the
No,
first, not the first part. Not the first part.
The first like 10 minutes.
All right, so what we're going to do, because Devin is such a great editor,
Yes,
I'm
right.
going to hold this up in black and white,
And he'll morph it.
and
in.
then there's going to be a huge house that lands on Paul, and then all of a sudden, this
Oh my
will
God.
be in color.
and Kevin will turn into a lollipop kid.
We represent the
Represent a lollipop kid.
Anyway, so come on down to the Riffs and Rhythms music, Noxx and Dunn's Riffs and Rhythms music fest.
Try it again.
Let's try this. Let's try this again here. So come on down to the Noxx and Dunn Riffs and Rhythms Music Festival, November 23rd, 1 to 11 p.m. Hope Sound Farmers Market, Bridge Road, I-95. 9 bands. Come on, support Florida music, original music, food trucks. We've got booze. We got all sorts of stuff. We got vendors, like Kevin said.
Some good fucking bourbon.
That's
and
right, so-
up until now, Paul has been world renowned as the rumfluencer.
That's right.
Starting
Devin,
now.
Cut it right now. All the meth is free.
No, starting now.
Wow.
He's the
Price
rum.
is last.
He's the rum mumbler.
There you go. So all right. So we need
Paul
to wrap this shit up because it's getting out of control.
Paul Robertson, the rum mumbler.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
Rum mumbler.
Rum mumbler.
Anyway, so all right. So Mike, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Man, you guys rock, man.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. for
Was this
having me
what you
on here, man.
expected?
You know what? I never felt so comfortable in all my life. I swear I could be sitting at home in my underwear in the garage.
You can do that
Sorry.
here, too.
Go ahead.
Well, that's all right. You can just end it on that right there.
No, you're beautiful, man.
Thank
Look at
you guys.
You're an
Thank you
impressive
so much.
specimen of
Yes.
humanity.
Well, they-
So
Such an awesome guest, man. This
Thank
has
you,
been
man.
so much fun.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
yeah.
Man.
So
Please, hey, come and see me this weekend.
right.
All right.
Tell the camera that.
Rock on. How do we find you online?
Lubeck Live. Lubeck, L-U-B. I mean, it's like it spells, you know. Duh. But anyway, Lubeck Live. That's L-U-V-E. That, you know, those who can spell.
Oh, wait. L-I-V-E.
I mean, just L-I-V. Lubeck.
Yeah, for
Live.
those who can spell, it's Lubeck
That's right.
.com.
And Iconic Opera.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah, so so what you're getting is you're getting like me or Iconic Opera is more like guys that are better than me, and then I'm in the band.
Oh, my.
So they need somebody to carry the equipment.
I'm humble, you know.
So-
That's right, I'm humble.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We are glad you survived this watching of the current episode of the Riffs and Rhythms podcast. My name is Kevin McLaughlin, and this is
Paul Robertson, thanks.
Rum Mumbler.
Blah, 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 blah. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, review, follow, all those things. Subscribe to the podcast.
Click the bell and go ding.
So check out Kevin McLaughlin's music there on his website there, all his upcoming shows and festivals. And
Good night.